Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. Today I've got a quick first impression on a Civivi I was able to pick up recently while I was on a trip down to the US and I was in the area of Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I have to again mention my family in this video. They were kind enough and patient enough with me to let me stop at Smoky Mountain Knife Works a few times. And so, uh, you know, I'm sure it started getting painfully boring for them. For me, I enjoyed every minute I got to spend at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They do a really good job. And I picked up a Civivi in addition to the Microtech Stitch that you may or may not have already seen. I can't remember which order these are going to post in. But what was cool was this knife came along with this little 10-year anniversary coin. And so Civivi made better since 2014. You know what? That's a coin I can kind of get behind. They have done a phenomenal job. Let me pop that back in the little bag that it came in. I'm going to get the box out of the way and bring out the Vexillium, which is a little over the top for the name. Oh, this is a pretty over the top knife. This is a very large Civivi. And what was most exciting to me about this knife is that Civivi finally kind of made a knife that was just right in my wheelhouse, maybe even a little big for my wheelhouse, which is almost unheard of. And so that's the big story here. This is a giant knife from Civivi, which we're not used to seeing. It is 9 inches overall, 3 7/8 on the blade. The closed length, that is how much is going to actually be in your pocket, is 5 1/4 inches. 4 1/8 inches of grip area. So you can see, even with my large, large, extra large hands, this knife is, I have lots and lots of real estate. I don't know, some people say you must have really large hands to like the larger knives, and that's not exactly true. One, I do like to be comfortable. I like to have a handle that when I grip it, I feel like if I've got to do some real work, I can. Okay, but my hands, like, I can't palm a basketball. I'm not an NBA player here. I wear like a size large glove and it might be a little tight. But an extra large is kind of loose. So, uh, whatever, however that translates. Okay. 4 1/8 inches of grip area and 6.1 ounces, which is a lot, but frankly, this knife is a lot. So this is a knife that really gets a lot of things right. Up front, we have this Nitro V blade, satin finish, really nicely done. I've got to say, again, let me just advocate for satin blades. I love how satin looks, especially when you have a couple of cool details going on here. This is a great blade. Very thick Nitro V stock, and yet still very thin behind the edge. And what's great is there's enough distance here, okay, that it can start out nice and thin and get pretty thick. And so we end up with a very good slicey blade that's still tough and durable. There is a bit of a nice distal taper there, so it is very fine at the point. And so for a big, tough, durable knife, I wouldn't want to be dropping this. You could break that tip off fairly easily. I will say the other thing that I'm going to touch on the blade is nice generous finger choil, which of course serves as a sharpening choil as well, and a bit of a swale there in the back of the blade behind that swedge, and it's still got lots of material. Okay, this is something that companies will often miss when they give you an option to choke up. They don't give you anywhere to put your thumb, but they did not miss that detail, which is fantastic. All right, it is a liner lock with typical Civivi action. So we've got ceramic bearings, pretty nice detent. It's a little bit soft on the detent, but not bad. Okay, comfortable deployment with thumb stud or flipper. You can't fail it. So, as far as that goes, although it could be a little bit firmer, a little bit snappier, it's more than effective. Okay, moving on to the handle, we have this contoured G10, contoured, layered, textured G10, which looks really good and has this diamond pattern that's, typical to what you might see on a firearm handle. all right? Especially the older, who's got probably if you look in your dad's closet, there's a rifle that has this exact texturing on the hand grip area of the rifle. We've got a deep carry clip with nice flush screws there. This is also in set. It is, however, not reversible. So, lefties, this one is probably not ideal for you. They've also gone ahead and put a smooth area under that clip, which is exactly what you'd want. The only real complaint I have about this is the liner could be thicker. Like, clearly, this is a big, beefy, overbuilt type of knife, and I wish that the liner was consistent with that. So, if you've had a zero tolerance 0200, if you've had a Rat Model 1, if you've had any number of liner locks that are designed to be a little tougher, a little stronger, we often get a thicker liner, but not so with this. In fact, this liner might be thinner than some other Civivi liners, which I'm sure was a decision made to save a little bit of weight, although it's already 6 ounces, so you didn't get a whole lot done there. But even if you just did this liner thicker, it would have been appreciated. All right. Otherwise, very, very good knife. And frankly, as we've said many, many times before, you don't need to be putting any kind of negative pressure on the blade of your knife anyway. Um, but it would have been, I still would have preferred a thicker a thicker liner. Okay. What are my first impressions on this? Yeah, it feels great in hand. It's enjoyable to flick. The blade looks amazing. Overall, I really, really do love this knife a whole lot. Um, Look forward to getting some good use out of it. And I will try to purposely go out of my way and do some harder tasks. Generally, when I'm doing a Civivi video, okay, it's not a hard use knife. It's not what you consider like a tactical or hard use folder. And so it doesn't make sense to put it through its paces really, really in any kind of big substantial way. But this, I may have to cut up a butternut squash with it or something like that just to see how it holds up in that really difficult medium. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what you think of this. This is a bit of a departure for Civivi. We're not used to seeing these massive knives from them, and we're certainly not used to seeing blade stock this thick and handle stock this thick. Let me know, is this a welcome addition to the Civivi line, or you think they should have stuck to the slighter, lighter EDC style knives that's kind of their bread and butter? All right, thanks a lot. We will talk to you soon.